Hi, I'm Chris Cody. There's a whole lot going on in the world today, and it's all happening at the same time. I don't know how intentional that is. For example, Julian Assange got his extradition hearing. He's being extradited to the United States. And there's been a large-scale bombing of two oil tankers in the Gulf of Oman, sorry, right near the Strait of Hormuz. Hormuz. So I just wanted to say quickly before I get into the regular video is they've been censoring videos like this that are critical of what the military is doing. This could be my last video. I don't know, because they've really been silencing dissent. So make some noise, make your own videos. They can't censor everybody. Please stand up for peace. Take care. I'm Chris Cody. This is an update on Iran's persecution. Apparently there's been a bombing of a Japanese and a Norwegian ship near the Strait of Hormuz. And they're significant. They had to rescue 44 crew members. Apparently Iran rescued the 44 crew members. They also automatically, of course, the United States says almost completely positive that it's Iran that did it. They said it was either a mine or a torpedo. These are both oil tankers, by the way. And I heard one of them had methanol on it. Just made me wonder, like, oh, did John Bolton go, oh, methanol, that's alcohol? Not realizing it's not really flammable like ethanol. I don't think well of the man. I think he's Hitler. Because he's solely responsible for waging war on Iran. I shouldn't say solely. He's the one pulling the trigger, and he's the one who's wanted it for nearly 40 years to go to war with Iran for Israel's sake. Because how does that benefit the United States? It doesn't. It doesn't. But Israel has wanted to go to war with Iran for 40 years. And John Bolton is very, very tight with Israel. I did a video about him and some of his ties to Israel, etc. And so you got the State Department too, Jared Kushner, who's like really good friends with Bibi. He calls him Uncle Bibi Netanyahu. So they're a bit tight. So yes, this is a play for Israel. It's something on the scale of a possible world war to attack Iran unprovoked. They provided absolutely no evidence for the last two, or for any of the past attacks that they blamed Iran on in the recent history. No evidence whatsoever. So this happens. They're blaming Iran already. There's no proof or evidence, and this just happened this morning, or maybe last night in California time. So yeah, how do they know? Well, no, we just really think so. Well, yeah, you said that the other ones were Iran too, but you have no evidence. So how do you know, and why do you think so? Nothing. Crickets. They don't say shit. This is dark. This is really dark. This is a bad day. And my intent is not to make your day worse, but to keep you informed so that maybe your opinions about it and your actions regarding it keep you on the right side of history, because this is bullshit. This is fucked up. And okay, why would Iran, when they're circled by U.S. military, say, oh yeah, they're saying, if you bomb a ship, that's it. Oh, let's bomb a ship, so they attack us. What logic is that, and why are we expected to believe that? It's so absurd. It's contradictory, but it's so absurd that why wouldn't they do it? Because it looks like bullshit. Well, I'll tell you why they wouldn't do it. Because a war would absolutely level the entire country. And they get a lot more out of doing absolutely nothing aggressive out of the world community. because the world community is like, this is unfounded. This is not okay. And if we wage war over false pretense, the whole world is going to be like, well, I mean, they already are about a lot of the U.S. actions, but this would be cause for allies to be like, we're not on your side. And for countries that are not allies picking up arms, you know, countries that aren't allies are like, this is bullshit. We're going to fight for Iran. So the potential for this is really grave, and it just doesn't make any sense to say that Iran would go ahead and bomb a ship right now. Like they thought they could win a war by bombing a ship right now. You know, we're going to bomb a ship and it'll win us a war. No, you'll bomb a ship, and they're both oil tankers anyways. This is military vessels. So this is exactly what our military, the Mr. Boltonites, and Mr. Bolton himself, of course, is like, hey, if you bomb any ships near the Strait of Hormuz, it's over. So what? Oh, they bombed 2 ships right there in the Gulf of Oman, which is right near the Gulf of Hormuz. Speak truth to power. Don't allow the media to say what happened or what didn't happen. I would say from our experiences in what the U.S. does overseas, it's best to look at it through the lens of who benefits, qui bono, who benefits from what has just happened. Because, of course, they think of it that way. They're not just like, well, we don't like the U.S., so we're going to bomb ships because they said not to. Because we're 4 years old. All right, think for yourself, do your own research, but do not buy what the press is saying. Even me, don't buy what I'm saying. Look into it for yourself, and don't trust what the press is saying unless they provide evidence. Without evidence, there's only motive, and the motive is all John Bolton. He's been wanting this for years and years and years. He planned this back in the 90s. The Project for the New American Century, PNAC, P-N-A-C. Look it up, and I also did a story on PNAC. Check it out. He wasn't going to not have this war. By any means necessary, he was going to start a war. I would bet my life savings on it, because he's lived his life planning for a war with Iran. He even documented it in the late 90s or maybe 2000. I think it was Rebuilding America's Defenses is the document, but it was a PNAC, Project for the New American Century document. They put it out that they wanted to attack these 7 countries in 5 years, that General Wesley Clark talked about, knowing about, them telling him. General Wesley Clark worked in the Pentagon, and they told him that we decided to attack Iraq in September of 2001. He found that out on September 20th, 9 days after 9/11. 7 countries in 5 years. Look up General Wesley Clark and you'll see him say it. There's 2 interviews where he says it very clearly and tells the story. He was told that by one of the people who used to work for him in the Pentagon on or around September 20th, 2001. This has been planned. John Bolton is part of the PNAC. Jeb Bush, Dick Cheney, Donald Rumsfeld, Lord Rothschild, Forbes, Paul Wolfowitz, Scooter Libby, the Bushites, all the people that Bush put into office in 2000, those are all Project for the New American Century guys. They planned all of these wars, the last one being Iran. There's no chance that Bolton isn't going to Iran to finish up those 7 countries, because they've done every other one. Syria's not done. They tried. It's one of them. Libya's done. Iraq's done. Somalia, Sudan are destabilized. They're getting away with this. They're getting away with this. We can't just let it happen. We have to speak up. At least know the truth. I forgot to mention that one of the tankers that was bombed was Japanese. I said that, but one of the tankers that was bombed was Japanese. And the Japanese prime minister just visited Iran on the 13th of June, this is 2019, for peace talks. So suddenly there's a bombing of a Japanese oil tanker. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense that Iran would have done that. I had to add this. I had to add it. It's a important part. Peace. For real.